let's talk about who's going to run for the Liberals next time, and who might run for the Conservatives. Does anybody have any thoughts?
No, I don't. I mean, I haven't even. It's 2 years. Well, I mean, assuming that
It's as soon as the NDP decide they want to go, and I don't see them wanting to go very soon,
No.
right? But I think the Liberals are running out of goodies to toss their way to keep the government in form. Conservatives are at a unbelievably high. I don't know what you want to say there, but they're high in the polls. Anyways, so Stu, any thoughts?
I think Al McDonald's going to run.
Who for which party?
I don't know. Whatever his socks say that day, probably. Al's run for both, is he not, in the past? Is he not? Or
No.
He was always a Conservative?
yes,
He's only run under the provincial Conservative and then the federal Conservative.
against Anthony.
And Los Anthony. Who was it? There was a local politician that ran for both at one time or another. Anyways, I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I think Al's bored with what he's doing. Maybe he likes what he's doing, but maybe he needs to take on some more stuff. And he's been very, very. He's been out in the community a lot lately, a little more than he had been through the summer. I would say that would be my bet.
I wouldn't bet against that because I was talking to him and he said he has like a 5-point plan, and the port co-working thing that he has on Main Street was one part of it. There's another part of it, and I don't know what the other parts are, but this might be.
For sure, though, it's going to be an attractive. It's going to garner attention. The Conservative nomination for Nipissing, especially if the polls kind of stay kind of where they are.
Well, Jay Aspen proved anybody can win.
Sorry. I was choking on my water.
It's just a joke, Jay. Come on, get a sense of humor.
I love you,
Anyways,
Jay. What about Marcus Tignelli? Another young, bright mind with some political experience. I think that would fit in his wheelhouse really well.
interesting. He jumped from council onto a city hall job. Yeah,
I think from covering Marcus over the years, I kind of found like maybe the way he thinks and the way he processes things, the municipal level, as much as he liked it, wasn't quite for him the way he wanted to govern. Always looking maybe for something a little more encompassing, like the federal seat would be. So that's why I say that. I mean, he's never said to me, "I'm going to run" or anything like that. I just found that he's a name. That's a name that, and if you think about his entrance to politics in North Bay, he hadn't lived here for quite a while, came back, ran a really smart campaign. He's young, he's good looking, he's smart. I think he appeals to a lot of voters. So
there's somebody like that too, eh? Right? Somebody that has some name recognition and some experience under the belt.
And the good looking part I just threw in there. I don't actually.
I was wondering about
not going to comment on that.
He actually told me that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
you look like you have a nice haircut. Is that where you go?
Marcus has cut my hair once.
Okay.
And it was the best haircut I ever had in my life.
It wasn't?
It was.
It was?
It was really good.
There you go.
Yeah.
How come you didn't go back?
I think he moved on to city.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really sure.
Full disclosure here. Well, I've never had my hair cut by
now
Marcus.
I go to Amanda, and she's great too. So
yeah. Amanda?
Mastrangelo, I believe.
Where are they?
At Sport Cut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, are we doing local?
Yeah, why not, Dave? Where'd you get your haircut?
It doesn't take long to cut my hair.
It's a drive-through.
It's done.
Drive-through.
Kathleen Cutsey cuts my hair.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right on.
Just on the as attractive as the Conservative nomination might be, again, we don't know what's going to happen, or whether NDP are going to pull the plug. I don't think they're going to wait till 2025. But if they do, let's say it's 2 years and the polls kind of stay the way they are, the Liberal nomination, we'll see who's attracted to that.
I'm predicting there's going to be election next June.
Could be.
And just to state on the record here, I don't want to embarrass her if my hair is not looking good today, but Debbie Bamford does my hair. Yeah,
Debbie does a fine job.
Yeah.
What about Tanya Vrebosch for the federal Liberal seat? I mean, I know there's
a feisty politician.
Geared to provincial issues mostly, but if they don't have a candidate, she might.
Didn't do quite well on her first run with provincial, though, eh?
Well, I think that was a bit of a truncated campaign. That was a situation where she probably filled a hole that they didn't have a spot candidate for.
So got experience now anyways.
Yeah. I think another another issue for Tanya has always been she'd have to give up her job to run. Now, if you're a federal MP, then that's a little different than, deputy mayor or councillor, I guess. It's not easy to survive off those salaries, but...
Yeah, no, that's the truth. And she mentioned that when I interviewed her, that it would have to be at a higher level for her to make that political decision again. So, yeah, I can see that happening.
The federal Liberals, landscape in North Bay is a little like we don't know because it's been Anthony for, like Dave, since 2004, I think. So, I mean, who knows who has interest in running because no one's ever really had the opportunity to run. Even when he lost to Jay, he came right back and beat him, right? So...
Maybe Matt Sukram, right? Yeah, he works for. I don't know.
I don't know.
He's got a public figure. He's one of those guys that could leap from media into politics.
It's possible.
Just curious, why do you think the election will be next year, and do you think the NDP will eventually pull the plug, or is it going to be something else?
This is going to be a real tough year economically for a lot of people, and it's going to be a stressor. And when they come out with their fabricated budget in the spring and whatnot, or start talking about those things, I think that's going to trigger something. It's only basically a year away, like from when it would happen anyways. I don't know how the Liberals can hold on to their power grip for another 2 years, the way things are going. So I'm just thinking. You want to have an election in good weather, and you don't want to have it in the wintertime. And right now, the polls are so high for Conservatives, I think they'll give Poilievre enough time to hang himself with him hanging out with Nazi people and whatnot to percolate. So I don't know.
And do you think the leader for the next election, the leader of the federal party, will be the current prime minister?
No, I think Mr. Trudeau is a dead duck.
Interesting.
I was going to say, do you think either party will have the same leader for the next election?
Oh, now that's interesting. Really?
Yeah.
Even with the way he's polling.
He's got the numbers, but man, he's a bit of a jerk, and he does stupid things.
Which one are you talking about, Sam?
Either one. It's if the shoe fits, really.
Clarify. Yeah.
No, like Poilievre seems like a bit of a wild card, although now he takes his glasses off, so we're supposed to like him more.
Yeah.
But like...
He's all GQ.
I mean... I don't know. I could see a situation where he has to step down. Maybe someone fills it. Trudeau, I don't think is going to run either. I think it'll be Freeland or someone else from behind.
But you can really see them trying to make Poilievre softer. I mean,
absolutely.
Just the glasses, the family atmosphere, all that stuff. I mean,
tighter T-shirts. Well, they might be doing a few push-ups.
You're bang on, Stu. They need to change his image a little bit because he's not attracting the votes like he should be, really.
Well, everything I've read, and again, not super amount, but is he's plateaued. Like all the people that are going to vote for him have signed up, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I don't ever want a career politician to be the prime minister ever. Mm-hmm. I want a guy who knows what it's like to work for a paycheck and to struggle to put food on the table. Or do I get my car fixed or pay my hydro bill? This guy's never had that problem in his life. Not that Trudeau has, but that's who I'm looking for to run this country. A regular guy, a regular woman. Doesn't have to be anybody. Anybody who has life experience and knows what it's like. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, someone genuine, really.
Yeah.
And I think what we're getting is molded politicians that have been trained to sound like politicians. And I think we're all tired of that. I think I am anyways. Freeland, I think, has lost a lot of her juice for as far as stepping into that position. And she also has a father that was writing propaganda that benefited the anti-Soviet Hitler side, right? So they're just going to nail her with that, right? And she hasn't really come across as the smartest politician. And some of the things she said, she got caught up saying that if you're struggling with your financials, just do like I did and drop a streaming service. And then it turned out she never did, right? So she's made some blunders. She's not a real grassroots person either, I don't think. But a lot of people like her smarts.
I think those on the entourage, the Trudeau entourage, all those that rose with him as he came to power are now finding out that the down is not so fun. And I think Freeland fits perfectly into that. In fact, she would probably do much better without any association to Trudeau at all. But she's been kind of part of the face of that party for several years now. And I don't see it either. I don't see a candidate that beats Poilievre if he makes it to the, but I think this is a case where, and this is a classic case where the Poilievre really can only beat himself. But I think it's totally possible. That's the fun of it, right? Like it would be interesting, I think, locally if this riding went conservative federally, just because it's been so long, I think it says a lot about Nipissing-Timiskaming and North Bay in particular if we put a Liberal person back in there as Poilievre takes the prime ministership. I think that's an interesting kind of...
One last little shovel full of dirt into this conversation. What about Peter Churko running for the Conservatives for the next federal election?
You want me to go? Dave doesn't seem to like that question.
I don't see it, but
I don't either. I think the mayor was the kind of the final.
No.
Yeah. I don't even know if Peter would run again for mayor. And I'm not saying, again, he hasn't told me that, and but this might be his kind of swan song, is this term as mayor.
Interesting. All right. I think we have to wrap it up.
If you want, they just elected Greg Fergus as next speaker.
Oh, okay.
Just popped up. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but
Greg Fergus is the next speaker. Anybody hear of him before?
Just now.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever heard his
I don't
name.
think anybody in Canada cares who the speaker is, except for the fact who they don't want to be speaker.
Also, they don't want them to associate with Nazis. That's a big one, I think, is the speaker can't do that.
Well, that's on the list now.
Yes,
Yeah, check that box.
That's on the name.
which party is
Not
it from?
allowed to invite anybody here.
Liberal.
Wow.
They still have the votes.
Well, I'll tell you what. Talking locally, as much as a Conservative nomination is going to be attractive because of the circumstances, if any, I understand he's not, but if Anthony was running again, I think it would be a race. If he was, but if not, then the Liberals are going to have to. They better make sure they keep that $26 million federal funding for the community recreation center on the table if they want any chance of winning that seat.
Just when I thought we were done, we have to talk about this. The fact is that Rota doesn't have as much leverage as he used to, and the funding had hallmarks of him helping the city get it. But the city has got into an arena construction possibility process. It's going to change the design and also may affect the deadline. So they may have to go back to get reaffirmed for this. Do you have any ideas about the process, Stu?
We discussed this in our editorial meeting the other day, and I'm not sure yet where the funding stands. I don't think it can just be pulled. But there was a time limit on it one time. I know that.
March 26th.
Right. And they need to, this new 52 million, idea needs to fit into that and have everything have their T's crossed and I's dotted by a certain March 26th.
So does the new design that's going to come out with this $52 million cap need federal approval?
Of course, because it has to do the net carbon zero qualification to get the funding, and there's no guarantee it's 26 either. It could be 20, it could be 15. Sorry, Dave. Please go ahead.
So they're going out. They're basically going out for a request for a design build. So the design is going to be created by the developer that comes back. So yes, that design would have to be approved, but they would not have pivoted like this. City Council and the city would not have pivoted like this when they decided not to go ahead with $70 million if they did not have some reassurance that the funding would still be there. Like they would not have gone. They made it very clear that the funding is still available. Right? They would not have said that. I hope they would not have said that.
Let's go back to see what the CEO said in the meeting, which was, and he couches everything like this with kind of ifs. I don't think he said it was 100% sure.
I also don't think there was no mention of it being contingent to Anthony Rota remaining the Speaker of the House either.
No.
Yeah.
So
And it's not 100%, but again,
Yeah, are you telling me that city staff would have to be 100% certain on something before they ever made a decision?
it's grant funding. Sorry. Nice little poke there, David. Grant funding is never 100%. I mean, from my experience, it's not 100% until you get it. But they would not have gone out for this $52 million design build if they did not hold these discussions with our MP in terms of here's, and it looks good. Go ahead. There would have been some kind of, let's see. But until the design comes back and it's approved, nothing is guaranteed.
Well, I think I got to correct myself. I said CAO. I think they might want to ask Rota again how certain he is that he could help stick handle this through if there's a needed for another approval.
I also have a submission to make to the conversation. So in 2026 or whenever the arena gets built, I think we should name it the Anthony Rota Community Center.
You do you?
Why not? He got us the money.
I joked about it in one of my columns and missives about it being the Rota Community Center and having to wrestle Al McDonald for the naming rights.
Yeah, we could call it the Rota Arena.
I like it. The Rota Arena. Yeah. Right.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Okay, let's wrap this up. Actually, I think we got 2 shows here, so I'm going to split them up into 2. Thanks a lot, Ben. Any last words from you? Nope. He says, I got other shit to do. Come on, let's go. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. Thanks.
Pleasure.